Hi everybody, it's Dr. Chabot, and in this video we're going to do some examples working out the electric potential from a continuous charge distribution. So building off of what we know for electric fields when we've done the similar thing, we're actually going to find that this is simpler, and that's going to be because we want to remember that electric potential is a scalar, so we do not have to worry about directions and components. So there's going to be no components at play here. We're going to do that only when we do our vector addition for electric fields and forces, but in energy, we don't have that. So if we take our equation for a point charge, which is V for a point charge, and again, relative to infinity is KQ over R. And again, that convention is that V goes to 0 as R goes to infinity. That's where we've taken, our quote 0. Then if we go into calculus world, right, and we make this small, as we do, and we make it continuous, then we get that the tiny potential relative to infinity of a tiny charge can be written as dV equals K dQ over R. And so that's going to be our key result that we can use as we navigate this. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we have a linear case. So let's just do an example here where let's say that I have a beam, a long charge of rod, and let me go ahead and say that it has some linear charge density, lambda, that's given by some constant A, and the A varies with y squared. And then let's say that we want to find the potential at the origin. So find the potential at the origin. Well, we don't have to do the step where we visualize the vectors. Instead, we really just want to write out, what dV is. So dV equals K dQ over R. So we want to visualize dQ and R. So I want to take the rod and I want to visualize some small dQ, as we have done before. And that dq, I want to talk about the length of the dq. In this case, I'm on like a y-axis, so I might as well call that length dy. And so dq, just like before, can be found. The tiny bit of charge is going to be equal to my charge per length, that's my density, times the tiny length, which is dy. And then R, just like with electric fields, R was the distance from the point where I'm trying to find the potential and my dq. So that is going to be my R. And we can see that in this case, because I'm looking at the origin, R is just equal to Y. So I can write these out and I can say K lambda, I'm going to plug in for lambda, A over Y squared, and then dy. So that's my dq all over R, which is equal to Y. And then I can just add. And again, that's because it is not vectors. So don't do this for electric field, but for electric potential, we can just add them up. So we take the continuous sum, right, to get the V total, and that's just our integral. And we're going to want to add up all of our dVs, and we want to do this where the object is. So I'm going to simplify this a little. I'm going to write it as Ka over y cubed dy, and I want to integrate from wherever that object is. So in the initial problem, I forgot to state that this is, say, some distance d above there. And so the object extends from y equals d, and then it goes on up to, it goes on up to infinity. So it's a semi-infinite rod. And so I'll put that up here as infinity. And now we have a doable integral, so let's go ahead and do that. We get here Ka integral of y to the negative 3 is then just going to bring out a negative 2 y to the negative 2, or sorry, negative 1/2 y to the negative 2. And then that's going to be evaluated from d to infinity. So I can write this out as Ka over 2, and then negative out front, and then 1 over, and then this is infinity squared essentially, and then minus 1 over d squared. So we can now see that my two negative signs can combine and I get a positive potential, which is Ka over 2d squared. There's no direction associated with it. I can't emphasize enough that we have left vector world, and that value being positive makes sense as a check, since we're assuming here a positive A, since it's a positive charged rod. And so it's making this hill around it. It is the hill, and then the hill is dropping off from this. So that's an example with linear, and you can see it's actually, like I said, takes what we've already done for electric field and simplifies it quite a bit, because it's now not making us do components. So make sure to not get these confused. Don't miss up when you're supposed to use vectors and when you aren't. We are in energies right now, right? Remember that the potential is equal to the energy per charge. And it's only the idea of energy that's making it so that we don't have to use components. All right, so let's just go ahead and do one more example of an arc, since we had some time since we've seen these last. So let me take an arc of charge, and the arc of charge here, I'm going to give it a lambda that is going to be equal to, that's going to be equal to some constant A, positive constant, times the sine of theta. And we'll define our theta in the standard way. So there's our theta. And so we want to do the similar thing. We have dV equals K dQ over R. So we want to investigate both of these things. So first we want to sketch some little dQ. So I could picture a little dq. I look at this function. Sine theta is positive for the full range here. So I can picture a little dq. And its length, when it's on an arc, we call ds. So dq equals lambda ds. And ds is my arc length, which is going to be equal to r d theta, because this distance r is the radius of the arc. So we can then plug these in. We can say that's K, and then lambda is A sine theta, and then times ds, which is r d theta. So this is my dq, all divided by r, which is simply equal to capital R, because everything is an equal distance away. So here we're going to be finding the potential at the center of this semicircle. So now we actually have a pretty nice integral. We can see here that V total is going to be equal to Ka. My r's actually cancel in this. And so Ka times the integral of sine theta d theta, I integrate from the one side, theta equals 0, to the other side, theta equals pi. And this integral is actually 2, so I will show that. So the integral of sine theta, so V total equals Ka, and then that integral of sine theta goes to negative cosine theta, evaluated from 0 to pi. So it's an exercise in keeping our negatives straight. So that's going to be negative cosine of pi, which is negative 1. So that's my cosine of pi, minus, and then my negative cosine of 0, which is 1. So this was minus the cosine of 0. So that's the first term minus the second term, and we actually see that we end up with 2Ka. And again, it's positive, and the positive makes sense because this was a positive charge distribution. I'm expecting a positive potential there. So then that, gives me my result for the potential at the center. Again, you can see that it is very similar to the thought process we put into continuous charge distributions with electric field, but now we are luckily out of vector land, and we're making sure to just add things as scalars.